Alright, guys, I hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, today, boys, I wanted to talk about all the games I've played in July. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've played a lot of games this month, okay? I've probably gamed more this month than any other month. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Marvel games recently, because, like, we've been working on a lot of Marvel videos, so there's been a shit ton of gaming involving Marvel stuff. And I've also been playing a lot of Alien games this month, because I'm working on a big Alien video, so that should be pretty juicy. And despite all that, guys, I still had time to play lots of other games, okay? So obviously, I'm gonna be focusing on the other stuff. So we'll kick this video off, guys, with something that I picked up very recently, and obviously I played through it and I really enjoyed it, and that game is going to be Ape Out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, for those who don't know, I'm just a massive fan of games that basically you just die super quickly, like games, for example, like Hotline Miami or Ghost Runner or My Friend Pedro, that sort of thing, where you get kills really quickly, but you can also die really quickly. I find games like that so addictive.
I love it.
Ape Out is exactly one of those games, guys, okay? You kill people, like, super easily in this game, but at the same time, you can die super easily. I've had my eyes on this game for a really long time, guys. I wanted this game for ages, and I only recently picked it up on eBay. It was a little bit pricey. It was about £60, or it might have even been £70. It was between that. And the second it came, lads, I started playing through it, and I just absolutely adored it. It's so much fun. You literally play as apes that are, like, escaping from captivity, and you are just running havoc, guys, okay? You are killing everybody in sight, and you're making a mess doing it, alright? You're just splattering people on walls, and I gotta tell you, boys, it's so addictive. Aesthetically, guys, this might be one of the most amazing games I've ever played. Like, the art style in this game is just so good. I can't quite describe it, but you just have to play it and see it for yourself. It's just got such an amazing art style, and also this game sort of fuses in, like, sort of jazz elements. So basically, like, when you hit someone, you hear like a jazz drum, and as you're walking, you'll hear like a sort of drum. I don't know how to describe it. In fact, it's easier I just show you what I mean, because I'm doing such a bad job of describing this. Yeah, the gameplay here, guys, is very addictive. The jazz elements in this game I absolutely adored. Even like the outro song to this game when you actually finally beat it is just amazing, and I've used it in my FIFA videos a lot, so you probably will recognize it. And I also like the story in this game, guys. Like, it's obviously not like any dialogue in this game, like there's zero dialogue in the entire game, but it's definitely a story here, and it's all told visually, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, on the whole, boys, Ape Out was absolutely fantastic. The only problem I had with it was just how short it was. I wish it was longer, because I just loved it so much. I beat it in just a few hours. I wish it was at least 3 to 4 hours, but yeah, sadly not to be. But I will definitely be replaying this because it was so fun. Okay, guys, next up, I played Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive. Now, for those who don't know, I obviously picked up a Mega Drive quite recently. I don't have too many games on the Mega Drive, but I am starting to slowly build up a nice little collection. I picked this one up in Tiverton a few weeks ago when I did that big game hunt. It only cost me £4, which I was really happy with. In terms of, like, nostalgia with this one, I do have a lot of memories with this game, obviously. I think every single person that's ever played a Mega Drive has probably played Sonic the Hedgehog at least once, so yeah, of course I've got experience with this one. However, I've only really got experience with Green Hill Zone, because I don't think I got past that as a kid. When I played this game, I would have been about 4 or 5 years old, so yeah, I don't think I got past Green Hill Zone as a kid. So I've now played through this entire game from start to finish, and I'm gonna go through each zone and tell you what I think about them. So we'll start off with Green Hill Zone. Obviously, it's goated, alright? It's just an incredible zone. It's the music, the color, the speed, everything about Green Hill Zone is perfection, okay? That is the perfect level. Second level is Marble Zone. I won't lie, boys, not a big fan of Marble Zone. It's not absolutely terrible, but it's just really slow. Like, you're just sitting there and you're just waiting all the time. Like, you can't just, like, run through the level. You have to do a lot of waiting, which sort of defeats the point of Sonic. You know, Sonic is all about speed, so you're sitting there waiting after time. It just sort of kills the momentum of the game. I can't remember what Zone 3 was called, but Zone 3 was really good. I thoroughly enjoy Zone 3. I'd probably say it's my second favorite zone. I really like Zone 3. However, guys, after that, you have by far the worst zone in the entire game, and that is Labyrinth Zone. I fucking hate Labyrinth Zone with a passion.
I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Now, I have 2 reasons why I hate it so much, okay? Reason number 1, most of it is underwater, and underwater levels suck in general, but in Sonic, underwater levels I do not like. You're super slow, it's super annoying, you're constantly looking for air. It's just just not fun. There's nothing fun about being in water in this game. And the second reason I hate this zone so much, guys, is the fight against Eggman, okay? And the reason I hate it so much is it's damn near impossible to do without rings. If you don't have rings and you hit the checkpoint, you are fucked, alright? You can't basically do it. There was a point I was playing this game, guys, and I had about 12 lives, okay? Something like that. I had a lot of lives built up, okay? And I hit the checkpoint, and then I died on it, so obviously I respawned from the checkpoint, but they don't give you any rings, and I just died over and over and over and over. I lost all my lives on this fucking boss because there's no rings, and again, it seems impossible to do without rings. And from that point onwards, guys, I just avoid hitting the checkpoint now. Like, if I play Labyrinth Zone, I'm not hitting that checkpoint before the boss because it's just fucking stupid. Thankfully, the next zone after that is good, alright? I like Zone 5, again, I can't remember, I think it's called Starlight Zone, I think it was called. Alright, not the boy Starlight, not that one. But yeah, Starlight Zone was pretty good, okay? I like Starlight Zone. It was actually surprisingly easy considering it's like a later zone. And then you got the final zone, which is okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. So yeah, that's all the zones. Okay, that's all 6 zones. I mean, it's a bit of a mixed bag in there because you've got some amazing ones like Green Hill Zone, but then you've got some terrible ones like Labyrinth Zone. But on the whole, boys, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I absolutely had a blast from the past with this one. It was so good. The nostalgia was great, and it was just an amazing game, you know? It's definitely not a perfect game, guys, but I still had a great time with it. And also, the soundtrack, okay? Every song in this game is 10 out of 10, so you can't really discredit that. Okay, boys, speaking of soundtracks, this next game probably has one of the best soundtracks of all time, in my opinion, okay? And that is going to be Ridge Racer Type 4. So yeah, this was another pickup from that big game hunt I did in Tiverton, guys. I got it the same time as I got Sonic, so I'm not going to go through the story of me buying this game. If you want to check that out, check out that Tiverton vlog. But in terms of like why I wanted this game so badly, guys, it's pretty much just the soundtrack. Like, I'm not a big racing game guy. Like, I don't really give a shit about cars, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of cars in general. I don't mind the occasional racing game, you know. I like, I don't know, Need for Speed The Run, that was pretty good. I like Midnight Club 2, that's a banger. I love the Burnout series, they're always fun. But yeah, I'm not a big racing game guy, okay? I'm not usually into racing games super deep. But yeah, I wanted to own this game because I heard the soundtrack on YouTube. I started listening to the songs, they just got recommended to me, and I was like, this soundtrack is fucking amazing. I need to own this game. So yeah, I got into this game for the soundtrack, guys, but I gotta say, I think this is the perfect racing game. I think this is a perfect game in general. I think this is a 10 out of 10 game. I cannot pick a single bad thing about this game. I can't think of a single thing. This is perfect. I love the way this game plays. I love the drifting. It's so smooth. It was so easy to pick up and play. I immediately clicked with this game after playing it for like 10 minutes. It just clicked with me. I love the vibes of this game, okay? I love those nighttime races where you're just drifting along, and it's just got such an amazing aesthetic. And then you've got the soundtrack on top as well. Like, all of this combined, what a freaking game, guys. Seriously.
It's quite good, isn't it, eh?
When you boot this game up, you're greeted to an absolutely delightful intro. Like, it just sets the tone of the game so perfectly. So yeah, I basically played through like the whole game, guys. You have this like Grand Prix mode, which is kind of like a story mode, and I played through all of that. You could pick 4 different teams. So you got like the Italian team, the Japanese team, etc. And I played through the game with all 4 different teams, so as far as I'm concerned, I beat the game, if you like. And honestly, guys, I really enjoyed all 4 of the stories. I thought they were super compelling, which surprised me. I didn't expect to enjoy them as much as I did, but they were really good. So yeah, on the whole, guys, Ridge Racer 4, I don't know what else to say about it, guys, because I genuinely think it's perfect. I just loved everything about this game. It is now my favorite racing game on PS1 by far, and it's probably, I mean, it's definitely top 3 racing games for me, probably top 2. It might even be number 1. I genuinely loved it that much. So yeah, if you've never played it, please play this game because it's so good. Okay, boys, next up we have got No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle for the Nintendo Switch. Alright, guys, so a couple of months ago, I played through No More Heroes 1 for the very first time. I absolutely loved that game, so naturally I wanted to play the sequel. And I've got to say, guys, like, I did enjoy this game. I thought was good. Did I like it as much as that first one though? Definitely not. I do not think this was as good as that first game. I definitely have a few problems with No More Heroes 2, but on the whole, it was still a decent game. But yeah, before I get into the negatives, boys, let's go through the things I really liked about this game. So first of all, this game is just as over the top as the first game, and that's what I loved about that first game, is just how ridiculously insane it was. And No More Heroes 2 is no exception. This game is just as insane as that first one. You're going around killing people in over the top fashion, their heads are coming off, there's blood splurting everywhere, people are getting cut in half. This game is as brutal as ever. The boss battles here are super good. I love the boss battles here, and just in general, this whole game is batshit insane, and I loved that. That's definitely the best part about it. I also like the fact that you can play as other characters in this game at times. Like, there's a couple of like chapters in this game dedicated to letting you play as other characters. Like, for example, you get to play as Shinobu in this game for a few chapters, and playing as her was super fun. She has like a jump button, so you can actually like do jump attacks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it does add to the experience quite a bit. Being able to jump around and attack is pretty fun. So I also enjoyed the mini games quite a lot here. Okay, basically, instead of doing the side jobs, which was super boring in that first game, we got mini games instead, and these are all like retro inspired. So there's like an outrun sort of type game when you're on a motorbike delivering pizzas, for example. There's lots of different like retro inspired mini games, and I enjoyed them. So yeah, that's what I liked about this game, guys. Like I said, I do not hate this game. I think it's a pretty good game, but there's definitely some problems. So first of all, no more open world, which it was pretty disappointing. Like, I didn't love the open world in No More Heroes 1. It's not something that I really needed, but it's just completely gone here, and there's no replacement. Like, it's just there's just no open world now. Like, if you want to go somewhere, you just click it off a menu, and I thought that was pretty lame, to be honest.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
I also found the pacing in this game pretty bad, because there's certain chapters where you're just killing endless hordes of enemies that just seem to go on forever, and then you'll fight a boss, and then next chapter, and then there's certain parts of the game where you're just fighting boss after boss after boss, and it's just like, it just seems so weirdly paced. It just, I don't know, I didn't like the way this game was paced at all. I also found the story a little bit mid. It wasn't terrible, but I just didn't find it super compelling. Basically, Travis is getting revenge for one of his friends that got killed, and that's pretty much the whole story here, and it's alright, but it just wasn't that amazing. So yeah, on the whole, guys, No More Heroes 2, it was a fun game. I did enjoy myself here, but I was a little bit underwhelmed, because I really loved that first game, and I do think the sequel, it does underdeliver a little bit. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with this one, but that's not to say it was bad. It was still pretty good. Okay, boys, last but not least, well, actually, probably least here, okay, we're gonna end with Bad Boys 2 for the PS2. Okay, guys, so this is a game I actually have a little bit of prior experience with, because this is actually my childhood copy of this game. I used to play this game as a kid, and I didn't really get super far with it. I played a couple levels at most. I enjoyed it as a kid, but yeah, I just felt in the mood to play it. I don't know why. I just sort of felt like playing it. And after playing it, guys, I gotta be honest, it wasn't amazing, alright? This wasn't a great game by any means. It was pretty bad, honestly. First of all, the voice acting in this game is absolutely freaking terrible. Like, beyond bad. They obviously weren't able to get Martin Lawrence or Will Smith to reprise their roles here. And who we got, I don't even know, but they don't even try to even be close to the characters. They are different people, honestly.
Marcus Burnett. Figured I'd run into you sooner or later.
Yeah, well, I don't tend to run away from my past. I stay and deal with things.
Damn! There's a whole other thing going on here.
Well, that was absolutely awful.
Honestly, guys, it's one of those things where it was so bad, I kind of enjoyed it, alright? The voice lines themselves, like the actual writing of the voice lines was terrible. The voice acting was terrible. It was just bad, but I kind of enjoyed it. And the gameplay here, guys, is as basic as it gets. It's literally a third-person shooter, and it's just really sort of mediocre at best. You go around shooting people, and that's literally it. There's no twist, there's no turns. That's literally the whole thing. The aiming itself is pretty clunky. Like, I don't know what it is with like PS2 third and first person shooters, but aiming is just super clunky. Thankfully, there is a lock-on in this game, which you're gonna need to beat this one, okay? Because yeah, without that lock-on, I would have been having a miserable time. The only issue I have with the lock-on here, guys, is the fact that if you want to like disarm enemies, because basically if you want to disarm enemies, you have to like aim, because you have to aim at their gun and shoot them, and you're gonna want to do this because you're gonna want to take people's guns, unless you want to play the whole game with pistols, which believe me, you don't. don't because the pistols suck in this game. So if somebody's shooting at you with an AK-47, you've basically got to shoot the AK-47 off their hands, and with the PS2 aiming, it's not great, or at least with this game, it's not great. I mean, it's not like every PS2 game has bad aiming, but this one certainly does. Also, this game has no checkpoints, so, you know, look forward to dying and restarting the entire level again. That's always a fucking great time. The game has pretty terrible boss battles, like the boss battles in this game are not good, and just on the whole, it's just a bad game. Like, it is one of those games that honestly, I couldn't recommend to really anybody, even if you were like a big fan of the movie. It's just not very good. But it's also one of those games, guys, where I weirdly sort of kind of enjoyed it at times. Like, it's just, it's bad in almost every way, but it's sort of a guilty pleasure. Like, it just was a little bit fun at times. I don't know. It's bad. It's terrible. I wouldn't recommend it, but I did have a little smidget of fun. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia, but I didn't hate my time with it, even though it's not good. So yeah, on the whole, guys, Bad Boys 2, not really anything great about it, but yeah, like I said, I did sort of a little bit enjoy it, sort of, kind of. Alright, boys, that is all the games I played this month, and on the whole, I had a pretty good time this month, you know, like Sonic the Hedgehog was a blast, Ridge Racer Type 4 was amazing, Ape Out was incredible, Bad Boys 2 and No More Heroes 2, you know, could have been better, but on the whole, I had a good time. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what games have you been playing this month? I'd love to hear in the comments. Other than that, though, if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next one, alright? Peace.